Hey everybody, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. So, today is the day that I finally get to gardening up, planting up the back garden. But I got outside, I got everything set up, and then I realized I don't have enough mulch. I have everything else, but I want to make sure I have enough mulch to have that nice top layer. So when I put everything in, they have protection from the sun, and they have some kind of soil moisture retention. So I'm here. I'm outside of Lowe's. I'm gonna go pick up some mulch, maybe a little chocolate snack, and then I'm gonna head to the garden. Head back to the garden. All right. So let's go along. Let's go shopping. Oh, it's windy out today. It's gonna be a windy day, but it's gonna be a good day. It's nice and sunny outside, and there's music outside of Lowe's. Okay, let me grab a cart and we'll get started. Oops, that was super close up. Alright, so I'm not sure if I should get the brown or if I should get my traditional black. I'm not really looking at the brand because they all basically do the same thing. I've used a few of these. Not sure, maybe I should just get the brown. Or should I get the dull red? This one's not too bad. I don't know. The red kind of stands out, and I'm not crazy about how it stands out. Alright, I think I'm just gonna go with the brown. I think this is a good bet. Hello. Okay, I've gotten everything I needed. It's getting windy out here. It's time to get back to the garden before the wind kicks up so bad we can't do anything. Alright, see you soon. Alright, hey everybody, I'm back. So we are back in the garden, we're in the backyard, and we're ready to get started. So this is the garden I'm going to be working. So as you can see, this is the garden that I'm working with. And if you've been following me for a while, you're familiar with this garden because this is the very first garden that I ever started with. I had this garden installed, this flower bed installed, oh gosh, maybe in 2020, late 2020. And it was the very first garden. The very first things I planted in here were um, not marigolds, aster, gaillardia, and mums, because it was a fall garden, and some pansies. So it's come a long way since then, but it's kind of a mess. So let's go over what we have already. So I'll start over here, and the landscapers are going to kill me for stepping on the grass. But we've got two different peonies here. And this is a white one. The tag wasn't in it. You know, the little card that tells you what kind it is. And it's got a couple more blooms there. The tag wasn't in it, so I'm not sure exactly what kind of peony it is, but today I'm going to see if I can find something to support it a little bit, because it needs a little bit of support. We've got a euchera that I pulled from the side garden. This was one of the first ones I pulled from the side garden. I put it back here. There were two. There was one back in that space over here, but it didn't survive the move. We've got another peony. This is a Sarah something peony. I can't remember. This is one of the last blooms. This one and this one. And I'm gonna leave the seed heads up. And I'm gonna leave the foliage up so it can soak in some sun. So it'll have energy to bloom again next year. And we've got a Floribunda climbing rose. So I'm gonna see if I can straighten up the trellis a little bit. And here it is over here too. We have got a butterfly bush, and this butterfly bush is sterile. I don't remember what kind it is, but I know that it's sterile. And this butterfly bush is a monster, so I've really got to keep this one cut back and tamed as best as I can, because if I don't, then it'll just take over. It spreads. It doesn't really take over, but it spreads, and I don't want it to crowd out the climbing rose or the peony. And then we've got some carnations, some dianthus back here. It's doing well. It's about to bud. I wasn't sure what it was going to do this year, but it seems to be doing well. There were 3 actually, but this is the only one that survived. So, and then we've got snapdragons. Here are the snapdragons, and it's already coming into color. It's already budding a little bit. So snapdragons for us, according to the research that I did, are a tender perennial, which means that in warmer climates where winter doesn't get that cold, they'll come back. They'll come back the next season. But in cooler climates, they're considered an annual. We just had, as everybody knows, we just had the coldest winter and seemingly longest winter in a really long time, and these things came back. I have some here, and I have some in my other garden across the way. So I'm really impressed with these. We have some lavender over here. We have an Ito peony, which is, oh, this is new. Oh, this is a weed that's wrapping around it. We have weeds also. This peony is planted a little bit, I think the bulb is planted a little bit too deep because this is its third year growing, but it's not blooming. It'll send up these little tiny, I don't know if you can see these little tiny like buds or heads, but it doesn't do anything. They don't open. So I think it's planted too low. And then we've got 2 Summer Crush Endless Summer Summer Crush Endless Summer hydrangea. And those are beautiful. They bloom these really big poofy pink flowers, and they're really beautiful. And back here, I can't be sure, this could be a weed, but if it's a weed, it's the prettiest weed I've ever seen. But I think it's a clematis. I am not sure. I remember planting clematis here. This thing's not supposed to be here, so I'm going to move it. I remember planting clematis in this general area, but I don't remember it being all the way back here. But it could be. I could be wrong, because I did a lot of planting last year, and I kind of lost track of things. So, I mean, I Googled it. I used Google Lens, and I tried to identify it, and it says clematis. I can't find the package, though, of the clematis that I planted. So I don't know. I might just leave it. It doesn't seem to be like spreading like a typical weed would, so I might just leave it. So anyway, this is what we're working with. So what we're going to do today is we're going to treat the area. We are going to treat the area with, when I say treat the area, we're going to just put a nice fresh layer of soil. We're going to put a fresh layer of compost, and I might mix in some, I don't think I'll mix in fertilizer through the whole bed because I don't want to waste the fertilizer because this is a really large space. But we'll cover it with soil, we'll cover it with compost. We have enough compost, we have a whole lot of compost, so we can use All right, so I'm finished with the cleanup. And now we're going to get ready to put down a layer of soil and then we'll plant a few things. But let me show you what I did so far. So I'm not going to worry too much. I'm going to clean that up in a few minutes before I get started. And like I said, I'm going to leave this and see what it does. I'm not so worried about pulling up the mulch from last year and the old leaves from last year. There's no fungus or anything in this garden, so I'm not too worried about that. I have to get some of the weeds over here and over here. I'll get those. Uh, the hardest part was getting the weeds under the rose bush. I think I got most all of them. I don't know. It's like a special kind of weed that grows under the rose bush. That's ridiculous, honestly. So I'll get that. I staked up the peony, and she's got one more bud. So we'll see what she does when that opens. And so now I can put some soil on, and then we can go on with a little planting, and then we'll put some mulch. Okay, so we are done placing the soil. Let me show you what we have. So we have a nice layer of soil on everything. Um, some of the old mulch is peeking through, but I'm not too worried about that because I still have to cover it with mulch. I'm not going to mulch today because I have some planting to do in here. I'm going to place a few things today, but I'm going to add more, so I'm going to wait a few days before I mulch. But we managed to get everything down, and it looks pretty good. It's not perfect, and this job took, well, I knew it was going to take a long time, and I knew it was going to be hard on my back. So, what I want to do now is I want to start placing some plants. So I have spaces, like I have space here, I have a little space here, I can put some annuals. I've got space here. I had tried to catch to have not a snapdragon, a black-eyed Susan that my cousin gave to me. I tried to catch it here, but it never did. So I have space here for something, and then I have a whole lot of space down here in the back. But here, as you can see, this area gets a lot of shade, so I'm going to be a little bit pensive about what I put here first. So I'm not going to put anything here today because I don't think I have anything right now that can tolerate, that likes that much shade. Except maybe the azaleas, but I want to do a little bit more research on that. So for now, I want to see what I can do here and what I can do here. So, but it was kind of difficult. And while I was pulling up the weeds, I noticed grass too. And I realized that when I had this installed, they must have put the dirt like right over the grass without putting any cardboard or anything, because little patches of grass were just popping up and I was pulling up grass all over the place. So it's no more than a nuisance right now. It doesn't look like something I have to worry about, but that's okay. I tied up the rose because it kept getting caught in my hair. So I tied this up a little bit, and she's getting ready to burst. You can see there's one bulb here, there's another one here. She's taking her time, but she's almost there. And she's got some up here. And then I trellised the peony, and this one I might move her next season anyway, because she's going to get more sun here. Because over here, we've got the fence on this side, and then we've got another fence on this side. So this little corner gets a little bit more sun. Although these roses seem to like it. They seem to, not be bothered by getting a little less sun. The peonies, I think, might need a little bit more. She's good. She gets a little bit more. But this one in the corner, I'm probably going to have to move her out. So I might move her out and put her in the back here. Or I might put her over in my other garden on the other side of the fence. So anyway, let's see if we can find some plants and get them placed. I'm just going to plant maybe a little bit here in front of the lavender, not too much because the lavender is going to get a little bit bigger, and maybe a little bit back here. So we'll see what we can do. All right, let's take a walk around the garden and see what we can find. Okay, so these are our finalists right now. We've got some Nemesia in a little purple and white, and this is all white. We've got the Labularia. We've got some Durango red marigolds. We've got a begonia, looking a little bit worse for wear, but we'll clean it up and she'll come back. We've got a daisy in here, and we've got the purple dragon spotted dead needle. Also looking a little bit worse for wear, but they should be okay. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use all of these, but at least we've got these here, and we can see what they'll do. So if you've been following for a while, you know that I have been trying to get this garden looking like, kind of like a cottage garden. I wanted the cottage garden look, but I kind of wanted a mix of the cottage garden look and the raised bed look. So I wanted cottage gardens, but without the chaos, but with the fullness. So that's what I've been aiming for all this time. And it just hasn't quite been working out. So this year I'm just going to go for it. This year I'm just going to pack as much in this garden as can fit in this garden. If we have to move things, then we'll move things. If we have to make adjustments, then we'll make adjustments. But I really want to see if we can go for that look finally. And we're going to keep going. Today's not the end. We're going to keep going throughout the season, throughout the summer, even into the fall, and keep adding things. A lot of annuals, but especially perennials. So this garden bed will have color, will have some kind of interest year round. So let's see if we can place them. All right, so looking around, I'm thinking I want to place the Labularia since there's only one of them. I'm going to place her in the corner over here. I want something kind of prominent over here so people can see it, so people don't end up, because we've got, this is kind of a storage area that we're going to clean up, but our bags of mulch and everything end up going here, our bags of soil end up going here, and I don't want anyone to just carelessly drop anything on the garden. So I want to put something a little bit more prominent there, so I think that's noticeable, so it won't end up, people won't end up just stepping on it or putting stuff there. The begonia is tall, so I think we can place the begonia toward the back. And we're going to clean her up a little bit before we plant her. Not sure about the daisy, but these two I think we're going to place over here, because the lavender is going to get fuller, but it's not going to get that much fuller, and I don't think it's going to overshade the Nemesia, so I think it'll be okay. Maybe we can move the Nemesia over just a little bit more in front of the tree. There. The spotted dead needle, I think we can put toward the back over here. It started rooting in to the ground, the bed where I had it, the vegetable bed. And I'm going to wait on these two because I'm not sure where I'd like to place them. I don't want to place them somewhere. I want to place them somewhere they're going to be seen and somewhere they're going to get enough sun. Maybe I can put the daisy right here, because I'm still going to prune this a little bit more, just so I don't want it to come out. I want it to go a little bit more up instead of coming out. So I'm going to prune these on the bottom a little bit and see if I can train it to grow up instead of out. So we'll put the daisy, tuck the daisy in over here. Yeah, and we'll see what happens. We'll wait on the dandelion. Okay, so let me get you set up and I'm going to start planting. Okay, it is done. Let me show you what we've got now. All right, I'm sorry if there's background noise. It's Saturday afternoon and the neighbors are having a good time. So we tucked the labilaria in over here. This, I'm gonna leave it in a little bit longer and see how it grows. I'm pretty sure it's a clematis, but if it's not, then we'll pull it out at the end of the season. I just want to see what it does. So the labilaria, we tucked the begonia in over here, and the spotted dead needle. The spotted dead needle gave me such a hard time because it had rooted into the ground, into the flower bed, the vegetable bed that I had put it in, just for while it was waiting to be planted. So I had to cut the whole vegetable bed, and then when that didn't work, I had to cut the whole clump of roots that was on the bottom. And then the hole wasn't big enough, and I had the hardest time digging the hole because it's right next to this tree. So there are all kinds of roots from here and from the neighbor's garden. Whatever they had in there comes under our fence, and it's really hard to dig back here. But it's over here. It looks pretty good, so hopefully we'll see what it does, and hopefully it does well. And then I put the nemesia in, but here's the thing. This one is a nemesia, as you can see tell by the tag, but this one is not. This is a Darla White Impatient. I did not realize that. I didn't even know impatiens look like that. Those are gorgeous. So if I can find more of those this season, I'm gonna get some and I'm gonna plant some. And then we put the daisy over here, and I forgot to clean up a little bit. So that's it for now. So as you can see, there's still space. There's some space back here. There's a lot of space back here. We've got space in between things and in the corners. So I want to keep tucking things into this garden, but I got to be careful of how I tuck it. Oh, I had this here. I propped the camera up on here so you guys can get a look. Let's take it out. And there's space right here. So yeah, so like I was saying, we want to be careful how we're tucking things in, because we don't want to tuck things in and then have them strangling each other, but at the same time, I think we can manage some more stuff in this garden. So anyhow, I think that's going to be enough for today's video. I'm exhausted and I got to go inside. I'm making burgers tonight, and I think I'm going to make some homemade iced tea. So thanks for joining the video, and I'll see you again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening and a wonderful rest of your weekend. I'll see you again soon. Bye.